From the center of the universe, Toronto, Ontario, Canada, this is the SDM Show with your host, Rob Cairns. The SDM Show focuses on business, life, productivity, digital marketing, WordPress, and more. Sit back, relax, grab your favorite drink, and enjoy the show. Here is Rob.
Hey everybody, I'm Rob Cairns. I'm the founder, CEO, and chief creator of Amazing Ideas at Stunning Digital Marketing. In today's podcast, I want to talk about a topic that nobody seems to want to go near. And that's, what do I do with my digital assets after I die? I know it's a tough topic, but it's one people need to think about as we grow our digital empire. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the podcast. This episode of the SDM Show is sponsored by Stunning Digital Marketing, the agency to handle all your WordPress website security needs. Go on over to stunningdigitalmarketing.com and find out how we can help you secure your website so you no longer have an issue with backups, being hacked, or your website being compromised. That's stunningdigitalmarketing.com. Hey everybody, Rob here again. In today's podcast, I want to talk about a topic that none of us want to think about, and that's our immortality. In particular, I want to talk about what happens with your digital assets when you die. And this topic's been on my mind for a while. And then CTV in Canada on their national news kind of ran a story this week that got me thinking again about it. And that was, how do we get access to somebody's smartphone after they pass away? Especially with things like Face ID and fingerprint. So if it were me, and I was setting up a smart device, I would set up my smart device with Face ID and a passcode. You can do both. And I would actually put that passcode somewhere like in my safety deposit box, because that's really important. And that way, if somebody needs into my phone and something happens to me, they can get at it, or in a safe. And I would label it in an envelope saying, to be opened in a dire emergency or my passing away. Now, that just covers that. What do we do about things like passwords? I use a password manager. It's Bitwarden. And one of the things I do for backup in my safe is I have a complete exported password list that I update every couple months. Also in there is my master Bitwarden password. So if somebody needs to get access and something happens to me, they're probably going to have my smartphone and my password list. And my smartphone's needed because I have two-factor authentication turned on everything. So those are all controlled in that spot. Also in that list is a complete list of all social media accounts so that people can actually and passwords so that people can actually shut those accounts down. I've seen many cases where people pass away, friends, family, and so on, and the social media accounts are still up and running. And that's not necessarily a good idea. You might want to leave them for a bit, up for a bit. Facebook has a ability to memorialize somebody's ID or page, but I would caution against leaving them up. The same thing for email. What do you do with somebody's email account when they pass away? You might have to get into that account to get some information. So think about that. I know it's a tough subject, but it's something we don't think about in so many ways. And it's getting harder and harder to manage. And frankly, I don't think funeral homes have the ability to manage this. I think you got to be proactive and try and manage some of this ahead of time. And it's not just about death. It's also about what happens if I'm in an accident. What happens if something major, catastrophic happens? How does somebody help me? Those are thoughts you got to think about. And that's why I have clearly labeled instructions in a safe that says if something happens, this is what you do. The problem is I work in the digital world. I have websites, I have client sites, and I have more. And in a future podcast, I want to touch on how do we future-proof our clients if something happens to us. And that's a whole nother discussion, which I'll address in my next solo show. But for now, be proactive. Make an important list. Stash it somewhere where it only can be accessed in an emergency. Probably next year will. Is a good idea. And then at least that way you can help your loved ones in the event if you die or something happens to you. Rob Cairns at Stunning Digital Marketing talking about a tough subject today, what to do in the case of death with our digital empire. Have a great day, everybody. Bye for now. This episode of the SDM Show is sponsored by Stunning Digital Marketing, the agency to handle all your WordPress website security needs. Go on over to stunningdigitalmarketing.com and find out how we can help you secure your website so you no longer have an issue with backups, being hacked, or your website being compromised. That's stunningdigitalmarketing.com. Thank you for listening to this edition of the SDM Show. The SDM Show is brought to you by Rob Cairns and Stunning Digital Marketing. For more information about Rob Cairns and Stunning Digital Marketing, go to stunningdigitalmarketing.info. From here, you can connect to us on social media, go to our website, and even go to the podcast to subscribe. This podcast is dedicated to my late father, Bruce Cairns. Dad, I miss you very much. Keep your feet on the ground. Keep reaching for the stars. Make your business succeed.